All right, you lot, it is time for another far right watch. Feels a bit quiet. To be honest with you, did I miss something? How are we getting? Like, I've been off for a couple of weeks. How are we getting on over here on Totally Sane Island?
I want my country back. What do you mean by that?
You are stirring up hatred.
You would put illegal immigrants and asylum seekers in, quote, a tented camp.
Okay, good stuff. Yeah.
Have you got off a rubber boat?
Oh, you did?
Did you come across the channel?
What's going on? Get off her! Get off her!
For a minute there, I was worried, guys, that taking a couple of weeks off, maybe the summer, the sort of seasonal influence, people going on holiday, parliamentary recess, divorced dads begrudgingly being forced to spend a bit more time with their children.
If you get closer, I'll have to send
I was worried a bit, content-wise there. I was worried that maybe nationally we had sobered up a bit from being hugely intoxicated on the hate and bile that were fed by the nation's newspapers, the hate rags. But no, we're all still here, aren't we? Chugging away on the intolerance and ignorance and bigotry that we've come to know, love, and endure. Shall we check in on how some of our usual friends are getting on, shall we? Let's do it.
Talk like sticking two fingers up. There's gaslighting, narcissistic government, this abusive relationship we seem to have with the powers that be.
Oh, hang on. Who's Alex Phillips? He's on TalkTV. Like, wasn't she on GB News? She was on GBBs, wasn't she?
There's gaslighting.
What's she doing on TalkTV? Like, why? When did that happen? Why is she not on GB News anymore?
I'm not exactly the first person to jump up and down and cheer for GB News after the way they treated me. They can rot in hell as far as I'm concerned.
What did they do to her? What did they do to you, Alex? What has happened? I mean, there's always a part of me that's like, there's a bit of Schadenfreude. There's a little bit of like, the evil grin, popcorn eating from afar, like whenever any one of these hard right grifters is confronted with the reality that, as we've mentioned many times before, it's all fun and games when you're all right wingers together, laughing about how hard asylum seekers have got it, or single mothers. Like, it's all fun and games when you're all hard right or far right chancers together, clinking champagne glasses in the Carlton Club. But as I've said many times, sooner or later you will be confronted with the reality that these people you are drinking and laughing with are still sociopaths, and they will absolutely fuck you over to climb one step further up on the ladder themselves. And, I don't know what's happened with Alex Phillips here.
They can rot in hell as far as I'm concerned.
But it is never not amusing to see this same situation play out again and again, whether it's, Dan Wootton getting thrown under the bus, or cosplay Calvin, Darren Grimes, one of the marks, guys, Mark Stein and Mark Dolan, both exited stage right from GB News. All of them, it happens to all of them. And then invariably they go on Dan Wootton or some other, rotation of podcasts or YouTube channels, and they say about how terrible it was.
Breaking right now, GB News is coming under increased scrutiny.
They figured it was best to just sort of quietly get rid of me.
There has always been a divide at GB News.
They go from singing its praises, don't they, as broadcast media's home of free speech, the Free Speech Channel, guys. They go from that almost overnight. As soon as their contracts get torn up, suddenly it's
Well, I think it's because it's just a poorly run organisation, really.
Terrible business. It's really poorly run. There's so much division there. It's a really ugly atmosphere at GB News, is what they all say, which is interesting because it's a sort of a microcosm of what society in general is like, thanks largely to individuals like this or these. They complain about division and a poisonous, toxic atmosphere. And then, you only need to pan out and look at wider society, at the effect of medias and outputs like GB News, TalkTV, and the rest of them to see what, how would you describe this? Anyway, what we were actually watching something, weren't we? Alex Phillips, let's take a look.
But now it turns out that the organiser of the Epping migrant hotel protest was arrested last night. Arrested. What, pray tell, was her crime?
Fucking a dog.
Well, it's on suspicion of breaching a Section 14 order. Yeah, I don't know either.
That is as I understand it, it's an anti-sort of advertisement law. Like, you can always fly a Union Jack or a St George's Cross outside council buildings. But if it is a flag that is deemed politically sensitive at a particular time, the local authority can withdraw that right, that consent, if you like. So let's assume for a minute, just use your wild imaginations. Just assume that Britain is a tinderbox and we are just teetering over the bell curve of full-scale national race riots. And we're at ground zero of those in Epping, the Bell Hotel. Lots of protests, lots of strong feelings. It's not outrageous to think that the local authority, the police, might recommend a Section 14, like, okay, look, can we just not have any flags flying? And it's the same legislation as they would have used dispersing crowds who were flying flags that were perceived to be part of a hate march, if you like, right? This is not exclusive to nationalists, to GB News viewers or TalkTV viewers. You get the idea, even if Alex doesn't.
Yeah, I don't know either. Well, basically, the evil thing that she did that required her being dragged down to clink was she
get to the point.
Held our flag, our national flag, from a council building above an entrance to Epping District Council Civic Centre.
Right.
Huh? She flew the country's flag from the municipal building.
Yeah, so it's in breach. It's illegal. She's not allowed to do that, Alex. That's against the law.
I'm joined now by Reform UK councillor Jamie McIvor. Tell me more, because this is mad.
Oh, good. Good stuff. Yeah. Bit of balance now. We've got the Murdoch broadcaster. We've got Alex Phillips of former GB News fame. And now we've got a Reform councillor, have we? Cool. And for balance, Hermann Goering.
The organiser of the Epping migrant hotel protest was arrested last night. She held our flag, our national flag, from a council building.
As a politician, you find there's moments in your life when you see something, you think, that's why I do what I do. You see something, you think, that's why I do what I do.
Like, imagine being this simple. Imagine being this transparently ill-suited. Like, think of all the problems that this guy must have to fix in his constituency. He's a councillor, right? In his council. Bins, roads, dinner ladies, lollipop ladies. How are you going to keep the lights and the heating on in the local schools with their energy bills still colossal? How are you going to increase capacity in your local Essex magistrates? You know, these are the things that should be occupying the concerns in the brain of a councillor. Like, imagine if you fixed the refuse situation in your local authority. There was a big rat problem, huge rat infestation. People were getting sick. 30 to 50 people were going free because the magistrates didn't have enough capacity to get people being charged with sexual assault through the system in your local authority. And you fixed that. You'd be able to look at yourself in the mirror, wouldn't you? And go like, I am doing an incredible job. This is why I get up in the morning. This is why I do what I do. And now pan out of all of that and just consider for a second that this guy...
You see something, you think, that's why I do what I do.
Looks at a woman getting detained or questioned for flying a flag and breaching Section 14, and he gets it. He doesn't even solve the problem, but he just goes on TalkTV and talks about this. This is why I became a politician, guys.
That's why I do what I do.
Somebody's got to speak up for the cognitively challenged, for the flag shaggers. Somebody has to represent the cretiny minority.
That's why I do what I do.
That's why I do what I do, he says. This is why. This is why he got into it.
That's why I do what I do. And last
I mean, if this is true, if this is why he does what he does, why he got into politics, I mean, that's quite refreshing. It's quite reassuring to hear. What's his name? Jamie McIvor. It's quite reassuring to hear that this is why he does what he does, why he got into it. Because I was pretty sure he got into it for the pussy.
Ex-Tory candidate accused of sending unsolicited image of his private parts.
Oh, man. Jamie McIvor, Reform UK's first Essex councillor, was suspended from the Conservatives last year amid claims that he sent unsolicited images of his private parts to someone, allegedly. I don't know who it was. It just says it here in The Guardian that this is what he was accused of. And somebody referenced these accusations at a political event. This was back in January. It says the allegations emerged at a council meeting this week when the Labour councillor, Aidan McGurran, told the room, "I will take no lectures from someone who is sat here under false pretences." So he sat there at that point as a Reform councillor. It says he was elected as a Conservative councillor. McGurran told the room he was elected as a Conservative councillor. He's now representing Reform, and he hasn't had the decency to hold a by-election and has no intention of doing so. And if you're really interested in transparency and democracy, Jamie, tell the people of Ongar why you were expelled from the Conservative Party and jumped ship. And then he answers his own question. He says, the reason is you sent an unsolicited picture of your private parts, which is a criminal offence. Tell people that and see what they think of it then, he says. McIvor is then asked about it afterwards by reporters, and he just says, I honestly didn't hear him say that. I didn't hear him. Did he say that about me? Okay, well, there was a lot of shouting going on, he says. But what I will say is he is referring to why I'm no longer in the Conservative Party. All I would simply say is people should worry about their own residents and things going on in their own communities, like mind your business. But he's not denying it. He's just saying, I didn't hear him say that. And why don't you guys worry about your own seats? So yeah, that's Jamie McIvor. But he definitely did not get into politics for the pussy. He got into it for things like this.
She has just been released. I've just had a text. I'm really pleased.
How long was she in for?
Well, it looks like basically
another political prisoner.
24
clearly.
hours in custody, which I find that in itself.
So she dared to fly the country's flag from a municipal building and is 24 hours in custody. What sort of sick thing is that?
All right, Alex, settle down. You know, it's not. You know, she broke a law. It takes time to get people charged or questioned or released. It's not 5 minutes. Not since that whole, austerity thing.
What sort of sick thing is that?
I mean, do you know what you should do? If you've got an issue with how quickly your local police force are operating, you know who you should talk. You should probably talk to your councillor. Talk to your local councillor if you can find him. I bet you could. I bet you could find that councillor for that area if you really reached out and gave it a bash. I reckon he couldn't wait to help you, whoever this mysterious councillor is. I'm sure he would help you in it. I mean, it's why he got into it. It's why he gets up in the morning.
That's why I do what I do.
Because it does sound sick. It does sound sick, isn't it? And, certainly from somebody who doesn't find Boris Johnson.
I love Boris.
Or adjudicated rapist Donald Trump.
People are so happy. It's amazing. It's incredible.
Or party hopping, WhatsApp, self-portrait enthusiast Jamie McIvor. Too distasteful for her palate. I mean, this must be really sick if that lot isn't too sick for her. But this must be really upsetting. Do you know what my favourite thing is about this? Is, this guy, who presumably denies the allegations, Jamie McIvor, he is accused of sending unsolicited pictures of his genitals to a, we assume, unwilling recipient. Somebody didn't want to see his genitals, and they were greeted with imagery. Okay, right. That's I didn't really want to see that, Jamie. Thank you. I mean, I'm a fan of transparency from my politicians, but that's a step too far.
That's why I do what I do.
And then when he gets called up on it, when somebody said, like, he's up in the council meeting and he's saying, in the interest of democracy, I have a concern about some of our veterans not being able to vote and certain things getting cancelled. This was at either local elections or general election. And one of the other councillors says, I will take no lectures from you about democracy and transparency. When you're here under false pretenses, you were supposed to be a Tory councillor, but then you were going to get the sack because of these allegations. You got suspended. You're only here as a reform councillor because you ran away from those accusations. Again, we will say, just allegedly. We don't know if it's true or not. But then, according to The Guardian, he doesn't deny the allegations or that it happened. He just says, I didn't really hear what he said. There was a lot of shouting going on in there. And then here's what I love is he says, do you know what? I think some of these other councillors, they should not worry about, they should be focused on what's going on in their own constituencies, right? That's what he says. And then you can see on this map, like, he's on TalkTV bagging on about the Bell Hotel and protests that are happening next to the Bell Hotel in Epping. And it's not even in his constituency. It's not in his, what do they call it, a ward. It's not in his ward. It's a fucking 19-minute drive from him. I think people should stick to what's going on in their own constituency. Oh, really? Really? Okay. Well, number one, why the fuck are you in a nice plush TV studio in the Shard? I mean, we could call you an Uber right now, Jamie. And number two, why are you hanging out at the Bell Hotel? Why are you over on the far west of Epping Forest District Council when your shit's over eastward? Oh, well, it's a national emergency, isn't it? I've got to get over where the action is. It's a national emergency. Bloody asylum seekers, bloody economic illegal migrants are a danger to our women and girls, so they are. It's like, why? What are they going to do? Are they going to expose them to the genitals? I mean, that'd be really bad, wouldn't it, Jamie? Oh, yeah, see what you did there, you cheeky bastard. Right, I'm a very busy man, so I am. Us elected councillors, us politicians, we're very, very busy people. Now, if you will excuse me, as a councillor in Epping, I am off to go and vandalise one of my own roundabouts. See you later.